Yeah, another solid set of results. I think, past few periods, really underpinned by good solid passenger growth, up about 4% across both domestic and international in the period, which was pleasing, but also some great highlights from our retail business, up about 25% in the period, and our commercial property business up about 15% in the period. So all around a good result. Our business is obviously dominated by the aeronautical business, but in fact it's only about half of our business compared against our non-aeronautical business, which includes that retail, commercial transport and property. Each one of those lines has a different mix to it. Our retail business obviously has our in-terminal retail sales, which everyone is familiar with, but also a new online channel which we built, which is just really started out, but something we're really committed to for the future. Commercial property business is a very significant business nowadays and made up of many different parts. So we have our office portfolio. We also have our hotel portfolio, which currently has 2 hotels with 2 in the works. And then we also have our very large commercial industrial property portfolio, mainly made up of large-scale warehouses and some mixed office developments around our precinct. Got about 250 hectares left to develop, about 150 already developed. So still long-term opportunities for that business to grow into the future. Outside of Kiwis travelling, certainly the biggest changing markets in the last few years has been China, up about 60% in the last 3 years. But the big one we're all sort of looking forward to is India and how that market evolves. It's not nearly as developed as China has been in the last few years, but certainly with a young population who are willing to travel, who speak English and love cricket, we'd love to see more of them down in New Zealand. I think standing back and looking at tourism and travel and trade just more generally, we still remain quite optimistic about tourism and travel in the long term. I think IATA sort of forecast global air travel to double in the next 20 years, so it's still good, strong underlying prospects. So we look across 3 primary areas of education, employment and the environment, and we're trying to use the benefit of the multi-billion-dollar program to make some intergenerational change in our part of the country. One specific example we work on is a project called ARTA, which is about trying to create a jobs and skills hub, partnering with the government, to try and match local people looking for local jobs with jobs that we have available, and if they don't have the right skills, giving them micro-training for that specific job. It's been very successful so far. We think this is something for the long term, and in the last half we put 180 people into jobs, and what we've seen is about 80% of those people come from South Auckland and up to 50% of them come off benefits or even more off the benefits track. So to us that's a great example how we can make a real difference to our local community as well as we're building the airport of the future. I started investing in shares when I was about 9 under the guidance of my father. Look, I first bought into some well-known names back then, Briley's, Bendon and others. The simple advice I'd give is quality costs, and it's worth investing in, and it pays dividends over the long term.